Hey friends, good evening. My name is Amit Ranjan. I am Agile consultant working with a company called Taviska in Pune. And I am doing lots of, OKR consultancy right now, which talks about, how you can set your goals for your future plan. So before I start what exactly is OKR and how this performance evaluation system will help you, I'll start with a, revealing thing that Fortune 500 companies, only 60 companies are remaining which were existing in 1955 to 2017. So in between these 62 years, close to 450 companies have closed. And that is a big thing. And this gives an idea why these companies got closed or shut down. Their ideas, their products were not very good. For the time being, they did great, but they could not sustain. Some did not cope up with the marketing or the technology changes. Few companies got vanished due to merger and acquisition, but majority of the companies, they could not survive in these 62 years because they set their objectives wrong. And that is where setting your objectives for your future plan is such an important activity. So if you look at the goal setting objective methods, so it primarily started somewhere in 1950-55 when Peter Drucker started with a system called MBO, management by objective. Management by objective, again, it got reframed to something called smart goals close to 1990, and it was all working fine. But the world is changing very rapidly. And another scientist called Andrew Grove, he started something called OKR, Objective and Key Results, which is quite different than existing systems of MBO and SMART goals. So OKR basically stands for Objectives and Key Results. It was started or invented by a scientist called Andrew Grove in 1970s while he was working with Intel. But this was popularized by another scientist. He was a fellow of Andy Grove. His name was John Doerr. And you will surprised to know that Google was the first company to adopt OKR in 1999, and the rest is history. So before I tell you what exactly is OKR, I tell you what exactly OKR is not. Because whenever we talk about objective and goal setting methods, we always look at the traditional methods where we do something for performance appraisal or a kind of KPIs to track with. Yeah, we can do all these things with OKR also, but the primary responsibility of OKR is not to do this. So what exactly is the OKR? So OKR is a goal setting framework for defining, aligning, tracking measurable and ambitious goals and their outcome. So it is very important to understand this is not a generic goal setting methods where we track the KPIs. It is for something which is very ambitious yet measurable and time boxed. So OKRs are not normally used for your day-to-day business or business as usual task. It is for something which is very ambitious. It is something which will make you market differentiator. It is something which will give you lead into the industry, whatever industry you are working with. So that is where it is different than KPIs and SMART goals or any other goal setting methodologies like MBU. So if you look at OKR has two parts. One is called objective and other is called key result. Objective should have four characteristics. The first is objective must be significant. You must try to do something which is very significant for your business need, for your survival, for make you the leader into the industry. The objective must be concrete. The objective must be action oriented. And on top of everything, the objective must be inspirational. So these are the characteristics of objective. Then comes key result, which is the second part of OKR. So key results should be specific and time bound. Means you must say that, hey, I need to achieve XYZ in 6 months or 3 months or in 1 year time. So must be time bound. It should not be that in future I have to achieve something. No, you must have to tell this is my timeline. And when you are setting your timeline, it must be aggressive timeline. So when I'm saying aggressive, you must have to see that even if it is aggressive, it must be realistic target. Should not set a target which is very aggressive and non-realistic. that in 3 months I need to achieve something. Let's say I have to make my profit 3 times or 5 times, which looks very aggressive, may not be realistic in 3 months time frame. And the third characteristic of your key result is it must be measurable and verifiable. Means the key results should always have something to measure against. Take a case from 60% to I have to move to 80%, or from X dollar revenue to Y dollar revenue. So these things are measurable. You can measure against a previous standard to the new standard. I can give you some sample OKRs. Like one of the OKRs, my objective is to increase customer engagement in our community platform. Take a case, I'm software company and I'm creating a software which is built for community platform for hospital industry or medical industry. So my objective is to increase my customer engagement in our community platform. So this is my objective. The key results would be reduce membership churn from let's say X% to Y%, or take a case 20% to 5%. So this platform, the customer churn is very much. So 20% of the people are going away from this platform. So I want to make this platform so robust that the key result that will achieve is the membership churn should go down from 20% to 5%. So this is very much measurable, and I want to achieve this in my first quarter of 2021 or by second quarter of 2021. Or you can set that, okay, by February 2021 I should achieve, or my team should achieve this goal. A similar kind of objective you can create, something like that, that creating a separate source of revenue for my customer care business. So take a case, if I am a kind of FMCG company and I want to create a new business line where I can cater a new product line for my customers. So the objective could be to create a separate source of revenue by creating a new business line, by introducing a new product into the market. So you can select a new product. Let's say I want to have dishwasher or a kind of soda into the market which can clean your clothes. So that will be my new business line. And what could be the key results? So take a case, my key result would be to generate a 5 million revenue by third quarter of 2021. So the key to understand into these things is, the first is your objective should be something which is inspirational for your business. It is not business as usual that I need to reduce my non-expenditure cost to something Y dollar to X dollar. No, something inspirational. You want to do something new, and then your key result must have two things. First thing is time bound. So normally when we look at OKR, we create OKRs for 3 months, means quarter basis. At many cases, if it is not achievable in one quarter, probably you can go with 2 quarters or 3 quarters also. Recommended practice to create your key results and objectives for a quarter. I'll give you a simple example. When I say the objectives would be inspirational, so recently SpaceX has sent their the capsule into space station, and their objective was to come up with a new capsule or spacecraft which can be reusable. Till date, even NASA has not able to create a spacecraft which can be reused. Once it sets people into orbit, it comes back and getting destroyed. Now SpaceX could have created another objective, something like I also need to create a spacecraft. But what made them inspirational is to change the paradigm by creating a spacecraft which can be reused. Now this was very inspirational. Never in the history of mankind this was achieved, but recently they were able to create a spacecraft which not only set people into the orbit, but it came back to earth, and it is now getting to be reused. Now this is something called inspirational. Now why inspirational is important? Because OKRs are always also known as the moonshot goal. Now what does it mean, moonshot goals? It says try to reach to Mars. Now even if you fail, you will at least land on moon. So this also resembles with one of the great ideas of our late President APJ Abdul Kalam. He used to say that thinking small is a big crime, and that what exactly is the key of OKR. Think big. Try to do something which is very inspirational, which nobody has done, which will make you market differentiator, which will give you enough advantage into industry or the work that you are doing. At the same time, it should not just be an inspirational goal. It must have some key results, some intermediate results. So if you are creating an OKR for 3 months, keep tracking month by month how you are progressing, whether still it is achievable or not. So this is how you can create your OKR and you can set your key results. Your results must be aggressive, must be achievable, and within the time frame. The normal guideline says your results should be time bound. Normally, we are asking teams or companies to make 3 months quarterly OKRs. In certain cases, if it is not achievable, go beyond 3 months. But please don't make more than a year or more than 8 months or 9 months, because we have seen 2021 has taught us so many lessons. Don't plan for too much into future. You don't know what will happen. And if something really big for 9 months, 8 months, 12 months, we have normally seen people are not, you know, very much enthusiastic to achieve those goals. So create short goals, create measurable and aggressive goals, and achieve them. Keep achieving them, and ultimately you will get what you are trying to achieve. Now we need to understand how this OKR is different from MBO or other goal setting techniques like SMART. So if you look at MBO, management by objective, so the key differentiator between any other goal setting tools and OKR is, see, OKR is not for your performance appraisal. This is not bound to your performance appraisal or your bonus. This is something really inspirational, and those inspiration cannot be measured in terms of money. Can you think SpaceX has had SpaceX said that if you achieve reusable spacecraft, we will give you 60% bonus. Those people who are working already on the project, they are highly paid and they are trying to achieve something which was never been achieved in the history of science and aircrafts. So normally OKRs is not tied to your performance appraisal or performance bonus. These are way beyond your monetary gains and monetary benefits. Other thing is, normally MBO or other goal setting tools are annual or at least quarterly or a biannual kind of thing, whereas OKRs are normally set for quarter. Keep your objectives short, results short, so that you can achieve them in quarter. Another thing that makes MBO and OKR apart is OKR is forward looking, whereas MBO and SMART goals are backward looking. When I'm saying backward looking, they are kind of basically reacting kind of mechanism, where they set some goal. Against those goals you have been you have been evaluated how you have done, what you have achieved, whereas MBO says what you have to achieve in next 3 months, in coming days. So orientation of MBO is retrospective, what happened in the past, whereas OKR is always forward. Another thing that makes difference between MBO and OKR is MBO and other tools are top down approach, means organization sets goals for you, whereas OKR gives you an idea where you can align yourself or your objectives so that you can achieve what is the vision of the organization. So it is bottom up. The teams, the individuals, they set their own OKRs so that to achieve the objective of the organization. So anything which is bottom up is always you get great alignment with the team members, because it is not forced to somebody. See, normally in OKR or SMART goals, your superior or supervisor or whoever you are reporting sets the goal and you have been forced to achieve that. Whereas in OKR, you set your goals and you say that, hey, my goal is going to help the company in this way. And so this is owned by you, not enforced on you. So these are some of the major differences between MBO and OKR. I have written past, I have seen some major failures of OKR also. And some of the reasons of failure of OKR are, see, many times we forget that OKR should not be used to measure your KPIs. See, the moment you will replace OKR with your KPI or your performance appraisal system, it will fail, because OKR is something inspirational which should inspire you to do something or go beyond your capability and limits. So many of the companies I have seen, they replace OKR with their goal setting mechanism or performance appraisal mechanism, and they tried OKR to tag with some kind of monetary benefits or other things. So OKR is something different. It should not be used for your performance appraisal. I have seen OKRs failing also because the long-term strategies are tied to short-term goals. Suppose you want to achieve something in 2 years, because this is such a huge item that it cannot be achieved. Take a case nowadays, we are undergoing a pandemic of coronavirus. Now, if somebody says in 2 months I will come with a vaccine that will, solve the problem of corona. Now, everybody know that 2 months it is just impossible. So normally, if you look at medical industry, it takes 5 to 7 years of time to come up with this kind of vaccine. But giving this kind of extraordinary scenario, even 5 years cannot be, condensed more than 1 year. At least you need 8 to 9 months of research work, and then you need to undergo the medical trials, different rounds of trials before the vaccine can actually be given to human being. So it's a long term strategy, right? No matter how fast you are, it is really impossible to come with a medicine for corona like pandemic or situation in less than 1 year, or let's say less than 9 months or 8 months. It will fail if you convert your long term strategy into short term goals, because short terms you may achieve something, but ultimately it will not result into what you are trying to achieve in long term. Another reasons for failure of OKR is, I have seen many companies, they just adapt the OKR framework. They don't adapt it, they copy it from somewhere. They will read some success story, okay, Google has done it, let me also try out, before understanding why Google has adopted it, what are the changes they have done in their organizational structure, what kind of changes they have done in their mindset, their workforce, before they adopted OKR. So OKR is always adopted based on the suitability of your requirement, how your organization is working, whether it is suitable for your organization or not, is their organization is ready to adopt it or not. Just by copying from somewhere, by looking at some case studies and getting trained and applying to your organization will not help you. Many failures I have seen because people think that after getting a certification of OKR, they will become a master of OKR and they will implement it. I always tell to my friends, knowing a literature doesn't make you a poet. So getting a certification is OKR will help you. Definitely it will help you, but it will not make you sure to get achieve what you are trying to achieve out of OKR. So before adopting OKR, please look at what are the challenges your organization is facing, where you want to reach in coming 1 year, what is your future goals, what is something that you want to do really remarkable. John Doerr has written a great book called Measure What Matters. So this book gives you a lot insight about what OKR is, how it got evolved, how it is different from other mechanism, what are the steps in implementing it, what are the success stories, what are the failure stories of OKR implementation also. So it has given in details. If you get a chance, please read this book called Measure What Matters by John Doerr. John Doerr has also created a website called whatmatters.com. Whatmatters.com has also all kind of support provided to implement OKR, to know more about OKR. And if you think I can help you, you need to discuss something with me, I am always available. You can reach out to me any point in time.
OKRs are not for BAU activity, and these are inspirational goals and some significant short-term, preferably a quarter, kind of a timeline we need to keep in our mind while setting the objective. Do you think this is more relevant for a specific level and above, who would have a say in changing the overall strategy of company, or this is equally applicable to everybody across rank and file in an organization?
I tell you, this is for everybody.
Okay.
And why this is for everybody? I'm working with an organization called Taviska.
Mm-hmm.
Taviska is number one right now into travel and CX loyalty domain.
Sure.
But we wanted to move from product-based company to a platform-based company.
Mm-hmm.
Where we wanted to leverage other companies to come to our platform, use it, and make money.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a big vision of the company. Now, when we adopted OKR, we asked each team member, now you tell us how this vision of Taviska can be achieved by you contributing to the vision. High level vision was created by company or the CEO of the organization or people who are sitting at the higher level.
Mm-hmm.
But the objectives that
Mm-hmm.
different teams says, hey, I will do this, my team will do this, so that this great vision will be achieved. So yes, guidelines and the vision should come from top management, but the key results and the small objectives of the bigger vision are set by the teams.
Sure.
And that is the beauty of OKR. It gives you the leverage how you will contribute, and that is where you get commitment from the team.
These are inspirational. They got to be de-linked from your regular performance management process. It should not be linked to reward or some sort of a bonus scheme. But in your experience, what's in it for an employee besides inspirational, besides being party to a larger or an interesting vision? Do they also tend to get benefit In other words, my question is around how do we compensate people and differentiate people who have already done that and are doing better versus somebody who are already in the OKR scheme of thing but are struggling? Are there any reward mechanisms?
Yeah, definitely. See, rewards are definitely there, and the best way to reward somebody is some sort of monetary benefits, or giving a kind of on a some holiday trip. But I'll give you a small example. I was working in another company few years back, and it was a financial organization, and first time they wanted to create a software which was never done in US, and they wanted to create a platform for the first time where somebody, one person to another person, the money can be transferred, and none of the banks in US, they were doing this. So my organization wanted to come up with this kind of project, and this was a game changer because none of the banks were doing this in US. I'm giving you a story of 2016, so 4 years back. The usual time to take this project was around 8 to 9 months, and my team was selected to execute this project. And the CEO of the organization, he said, if you will achieve this in 3 months, you will be rewarded with something which you have never thought of. No, no, we started working very hard. We all were thinking, okay, we will get 80% bonus, 100% bonus, this, that, whatever it may be. And not 3 months, we took almost 4 months to finish this project. And once the project was launched, we got an announcement that CEO is flying down from US to greet each and every individual of the team member who worked on this project. This was a huge time for all the people who worked on this project. The CEO, he flew from US to India, shook hand with each and every individual. Now, this kind of pride, you cannot compensate with money. Even if you give me 1 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, a holiday, yes, definitely you can do this. But the pride of getting, reward directly from the CEO, he came, he flew down, he took that much of time. That is important, and that has created a different kind of energy into the whole organization. Now when you set a target for sales, now you have to say that if you achieve this much of money, 20% bonus will be given. But normally for other people who are into software development, or trying to reorg this entire structure, things cannot be compensated with money. But definitely yes, people who achieve something like that, they are the top achiever of the organization. Some way or other we try to compensate, but the motto is not to compensate something with money. In my current organization, every year we give few people the achiever of the year award. It is not linked with any monetary benefit, but their photographs is placed on wall of fame. Now throughout the year, when you see your photograph on the wall, what kind of motivation you will get, you can understand. And the other people also get inspired, how I can be part of that wall. I give you one more example. In my current organization, the employee of the year awardee gets the best location to park the car. And in the parking also it is written employee of the year. Now when you park your car in that slot and everybody knows that, hey, this is this person's car. So what kind of pride you will get? This cannot be compensated with some money.